Hi, my name is Charleston White. I'm the founder and the CEO of a youth organization that's called Hyped About Hype. And HYPE is an acronym for helping young people excel.
I'm from the shot, right? That little shit you said about King Von? Nah, I already know where you at right now. So I need you to apologize right now. I'm finna come around that corner. I'm gonna give you 2 seconds, 10 seconds. Yeah. You scared now? Don't look.
1,
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck King Von all over again.
Okay. I'm glad you feel that way. Okay. I'm glad you feel that way.
1,
Now check this out.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck King Von mama all over again.
Oh, okay, mama too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck King Von baby all over again. Thought you said you were coming around the corner, nigga.
That nigga, yeah, how about that?
Oh,
You don't want me to come around the corner.
You told me you knew where I was.
You don't want me to come around the corner.
You done lied to me already. I hate
You
a
don't want
lying
me to come
ass
around the
nigga.
corner.
Oh, I hate a lying ass nigga. You said you knew where I was, and I got 10 seconds to apologize. I'm coming around that corner.
All right.
Nigga, I was scared in the motherfucker.
All right.
Boy, I was scared. I said, I don't care for a nigga would come around the corner.
Wait till he get in the dog. I see what you're doing. You want the laws? You want the laws to know? You want the laws to know?
I just knew I was finna die. I just knew I was finna die. When that nigga said, I'm coming around that corner. Boy, I just thought, oh shit. Boy, this nigga finna kill me. Don't lie. I just knew it was over. I said, man, chance. Let's just see. This thing might be bullshit.
You bitch ass nigga go to jail writing grievances, but wanna come out here and play tough with us. You bitch ass nigga suck my I'm pissing on Crips lips today, and I'm pissing on tombstones and Nipsey Hussle lovers, nigga. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. You bitch ass niggas ain't killed nobody behind King Von. You niggas looking like some real pussy ass niggas.
So the rappers is only bad, and then they don't get out of character, right? They never get out of character. They promote number violence and killing of another nigga. Every black woman he talk about is a bitch. Now these niggas getting to the point where they don't even like their mama sound like no more in the lyrics. You know, used to be some Dear Mama songs. Men sound like these niggas don't even like their mamas no more. These the little boys that, spit on their grandmamas. They some unruly characters, homie. And they are bad representation and a misrepresentation to children. And they don't give a fuck about nothing. And they some lying motherfuckers. All they do is lie. They ain't got the money they say they got. Can't none of them niggas show you no houses that's theirs. All them niggas is hoes in the industry that's getting pimped by the real motherfucking me pimps of the industry. But they present themselves to us like they some bad motherfuckers, and we believe them. So yeah, I hate that, homie.
It is safe to say Charleston White has lost his way. He originally had a message that made sense. A message that many of us were able to get behind. And although his delivery might have been brash and aggressive, his points were valid, and they were very difficult to argue against.
Yeah, free Eric Holder. We say long live King Von. We know he was a killer. We say free YSL, and they got over 25 killings, over 50 shootings, all against black people. We say free YMW Millie, he killed 2 people. And these are rappers who saying this. Eric Holder's in 23-hour lockdown. He don't get any sympathy and compassion. Eric Holder is a stepper. We normally ride with the stepper. Nip wasn't no stepper. Not only that, he killed the nigga who called him a snitch. He killed the nigga who confronted him about snitching. Ain't that the rules that they say we supposed to follow as gangsters and street guys? Nigga call you a snitch and I ain't no snitch? So nigga, he responded like the G's supposed. So why we don't want him out? Nigga, that nigga, well, he a killer. He a real stepper. Those are the people we admire and love. But because he stepped on one of our favorite rappers,
he don't get the same embrace? And the prosecutor's office did say it was a hit. So obviously he ain't telling on nobody neither. He keeping his mouth closed. Sound like a real nigga to me. When you're looking at it from how the hip hop industry look at it.
His most notable beef is with rapper King Von, who passed away on November 6, 2020. After a violent confrontation outside an Atlanta nightclub that ended in gunfire. Von's passing sparked an intense discussion within the world of hip-hop, and that's because, although King Von started the fight with Quando Rondo that ultimately ended with him being gunned down, hip-hop fans who fiercely loved King Von were still devastated, and they quickly turned on Quando Rondo and his shooter, Lil Tim. Charleston White used King Von as an example to point out everything that's wrong in the culture, and he pissed off a lot of folks in the process. But it was this conversation that really brought him and his views to the forefront of the culture. I believe that it was around the year 2022 when he first began going viral with his controversial takes, and he has not let his foot off the gas ever since. But when we stop and take a moment to listen to his argument, it is hard to say that the guy doesn't have a point.
But somebody asked in the comments, they said, well, say Cheese, why does Charleston White hate King Von so much?
Man, he killed black people and bragged about it. He bragged about killing black people. Some of his most prolific, most entertaining songs is talking about how he killed black people and get away with it. He was actually in jail for murder. When you look at the court documents, the only reason he was released from jail is because the witnesses came up dead. Only for him to get out of jail, homie, champion murder. When you look at his victims, all his victims is black people, both men and women. And then the guy say, I'm a demon. I'm against all of that. Morally, spiritually, and I'm against all of that, huh? And then I know the story of Tuka.
Tuka was a 15-year-old kid who died of multiple gunshot wounds sustained during a shooting on January 12, 2011. Tuka and his two friends were waiting for the westbound 63rd Street bus in the south side of Chicago when a car stopped in front of them. Someone exited the passenger seat and exchanged a few words with Tuka before firing multiple shots and then fleeing the scene. Tuka was a casualty in a war between the GDs and the BDs, although he didn't claim either gang. It's yet another senseless crime that didn't need to happen. To this day, no one has ever been charged with the murder of Tuka.
He called me and say, Mama, I won my wrestling match. I was like, good, son, come on home. I was, ooh, that's what. I'm thinking my son in the ambulance, but had he land, and all I see is this white sheet. I'm not thinking that's my son under that white sheet. I'm thinking my son in the ambulance. The police trying to pull me back and stuff, but I'm steady trying to get to my son. My whole body just went numb. I had to bust my chin, bust my elbows, everything. I know that till 2 weeks later, but
Tuka's name is unfortunately responsible for starting the smoking on your ops trend, which originated from Tupac's wishes to be rolled up in a blunt and smoked, which his rap group, The Outlaws, would actually do after his passing. Tuka's name has disrespectfully been mentioned in countless rap songs ever since his passing in 2011.
In all my years of hearing Tuka's name, I never heard nobody say Tuka was a gangbanger. None of his ops, or so-called, or whatever that is. I've never heard none of Tuka ops say Tuka killed my partner, Tuka did this, Tuka was this. I never heard nobody say that, homie. So I'm saying, homie, are these real demons? We got to start asking ourselves, are these real demons? When a motherfucker say I'm on demon time and his demon time consists of him killing people, are these real demons? He was in a documentary laughing. You know how sick you gotta be to knowing you killed this girl, nigga,
and go answer the question with these white folks to toy. You know how sick and demonic you gotta be? So to watch King Von die before the world was an act of God. And when I look at little Timmy, I see him at peace. I see a peaceful man. I don't see no man stressing and worrying. I watched the whole interview with the Future. Man, that little boy looked like he had peace. And God got a level of protection around him. He's untouchable because he done the act of removing the demon force. One of Satan's greatest soldiers was King Von. That's why he can tell the story so well about the people he killed to captivate the minds and the hearts of so many young people.
King Von heavily played into the murderous villain persona. I mean, the fucking guy would bring a box of cereal to his interviews for when he would be asked about some of his bodies. It was like a wink to his audience as some type of sick serial killer inside joke. So when Charleston called him out, folks listened. But now it looks like he's become a junkie for the views.
Fucking viral sensation every day. I've been live every day for 3-4 years, nigga, and can't nobody turn me off. They keep deleting channels, blocking them, stopping them, censoring them, shutting them down. Guess what? People come find me and follow me again.
He has muddied the waters to the point that it has made it difficult to separate his personality from his message. And in doing so, he has lost any respect and any credibility that he once had. Now he just comes off as the crazy uncle who no one takes seriously.
Shit, I don't give a fuck about China, man. I hate Chinese people, nigga. I think Chinese stores should be robbed. I think Chinese women should be brutally by big, well-hung black men that hate Chinese women. Fuck China Mac. I think Chinese babies should be used as alligator bait. I think Chinese babies should be and use as alligator bait.
So how can anyone take you seriously when you blame rappers for being bad role models and then you say dumb ass shit like that?
And they are bad representation and a misrepresentation to children.
The sad part is, there was a time when he had the youth's attention, a time when he could have actually made a difference. Charleston White has always been battling between these two forces. At times, he's the activist who cares about the future of the next generation, and he's trying to change the narrative that gang culture is rewarding. But then, in the blink of an eye, he suddenly turns into that big bad gun-toting gangster that he claims to hate. And when you have that context and look back at his earlier antics, it comes off as jealousy, like he was jealous of these rappers getting attention for catching bodies, when the only attention that he ever received from similar actions was jail time.
See, we done killed before, nigga. You ain't never killed before.
All right.
You ain't never killed nothing before, little boy.
And then once he made himself some money, he went out and bought a bunch of guns. So this way he could act like a gangster and be feared when he goes online and talks shit like he's in high school. Let's take a look at who Charleston White was before he became the viral sensation that we all know him as today. Let's try to get an understanding of who the man really is, what his intentions were, and what it was that led him down the path of becoming our crazy Uncle Charlie.
Hi, my name is Charleston White. To give you a little history and background information about who I am, man, I'm one of the first juveniles in the Fort Worth, Tarrant County area to be tried and adjudicated for the crime of murder at the age of 14.
Charleston White was born in Fort Worth, Texas on May 17, 1977 to parents Charles Ray and Tamara White. His father was an officer in the Navy and his mother was a stay-at-home mum who also took care of foster kids. He didn't have much of a relationship with his father, and this lack of a male role model is what led him to join the Crips at a very young age. He was always a go-getter, so in his youth he would put in work and climb the ranks with the hopes of eventually becoming a gang leader one day. In 1991, him and 3 of his friends went into a Foot Locker to steal some starter jackets. They had made it back to their car when a civilian noticed what was going on and attempted to intervene. That's when one of the boys pulled out a gun and opened fire on the man, which resulted with the man losing his life.
Me and 3 of my friends decided to go to a mall one day and steal some athletic jackets. At the time, starter jackets were very popular. We went inside of a Foot Locker. 3 of us went in. We ran out with the starter jackets. As we approached the car, there was a good Samaritan, a guy by the name of Michael Levy, which is my victim, saw what was happening and he tried to thwart us. He tried to stop us from getting away with those jackets, and in the process, my 16-year-old friend, actually 15-year-old friend, shot and killed Mr. Levy in the parking lot. Because of that offense, I was sentenced to 12 years under the determinate sentencing law here in the state of Texas. My co-defendants, the guy who actually pulled the trigger, was sentenced to 75 years. He's still incarcerated right now today, and his crime occurred back on September 18, 1991. The anniversary is actually coming up. My oldest friend, who was actually been 16 or 17 at the time, he was sentenced to a 99-year sentence and went back on appeal and received 25 years. And then my other friend, while out on bond, he was killed by the police in a high-speed chase in an unrelated incident crime that caused his death. I spent right about 7 years in the Texas Youth Commission from the time I was 14 until I was 21. Upon 30 days prior to my 18th birthday, based on Texas juvenile law, you're required to go back to court to a transfer hearing to see your judge to determine whether or not if you'll be transferred to the adult prison system, or if you'll remain in the juvenile custody, or if you'll be paroled. This decision was really based on your behavior while in custody in the Texas Youth Commission, as well as the nature of your crime. Your victim's impact statement had a lot to do with the judge's decision. And based on my behavior, the state recommendation was for me to be transferred to the adult prison system. I was caught up into gang activities. The state had a very strong recommendation for me to be transferred into the Texas Department of Correction. But there was 5 of my house parents. At the time, we called them house parents. I think right now today, the state, as well as the youth, refer to these individuals as juvenile correctional officers. But they put their jobs on the line, basically to come back in court and testify on my behalf. And these individuals then travel back to Fort Worth, Texas to lie and tell the judge what a good student I was, because that wasn't true at all. They basically just came back to inform the judge the potential that they saw in me. And based on that potential and their testimony, my judge gave me a second chance at life and recommitted me back to the Texas Youth Commission. And it wasn't until I went back to the Texas Youth Commission that maturity played a big part in my changing, where I was able to get into the programs, the capital offender programs and things of that nature, and begin to utilize a lot of the opportunities that was provided for me in the Texas Youth Commission. Upon getting out of TYC, man, I could honestly say that the Texas Youth Commission, getting state school, gave me all the tools and skills that I needed in life to be successful upon coming back to society, if I chose to use those skills. For the most part, man, coming back to my environment played a big part in reshaping me after I got out of TYC. I was released in September of 1997, and during that era, dope selling, drug dealing was at its highest. Gang banging, the gang culture was pretty much trying to die out, and there was an environment within not just my home environment, but within my race, within my culture, within the music. It glorified drug dealing, man. So when I came home, that's pretty much what I took to. 9 months after getting out of TYC, I was caught drug trafficking with 10 pounds of marijuana in Oklahoma and 2 firearms. Based on that, that was an opportunity again for me to get my life in order, because I was given another chance. I took it to trial. I had a mistrial, and after the mistrial, the courts, as well as the prosecuting attorney, offered me 6 months prison boot camp and 5 years deferred probation. So I took that. To make a long story short, man, I spent a lot of my 20s in the streets, being associated with the criminal elements of society. It wasn't until I had my daughter, 2009, a lot of my friends began to go to federal prison. And I was in my early 30s, and I began to look at life and didn't realize I had anything that could better my life or change my situation that I was in. So I decided to go back to school and pursue education in criminal justice. And right now, today, currently, I'm a pre-law student at Texas Wesleyan University with 2 semesters to graduate before going to law school. I'm the founder and the CEO of a youth organization that's called Hyped About Hype. And HYPE is an acronym for helping young people excel. And we travel throughout the state of Texas speaking at a lot of the different Texas Juvenile Justice Department institution, juvenile complexes, juvenile institution, halfway houses. We speak at high schools, we speak at different counties, probation departments, juvenile facilities, as well as 2 days out of the week, I volunteer as a volunteer chaplain at the adult parole office, speaking to all newly released inmates, offenders coming back to the Tarrant County area, pretty much giving them some knowledge and some information about going back to school and pursuing some type of trade, education, or skill. My vision is to share my story with young people in hopes of making a positive impact on their lives. I believe my message, as well as the people that's connected to my organization, as far as my colleagues, have some very powerful stories of redemption, because we all grew up in a system. We all committed very serious crimes as teenagers, and right now today we're living pro-social and productive lives, and I think it's a great example for young people.
For a while, Charleston White was really out here making a difference in the world. He's not just a grifter who was acting woke for clout. He was rolling up his sleeves and putting in work to make this world a better place. And that's more than most of us can say. Like, he actually has helped people in the real world. He really did care about his community at one point. But somewhere along the road, he lost his way. At some point, the attention became a drug, and now he's been straight tweaking ever since. After working on his Hype initiative, we arrived to 2022, when he began going viral for his outlandish takes regarding the state of hip-hop culture. But back then, he wasn't being offensive for no reason. He was doing it in order to grab your attention, because he genuinely had something important to say. He was doing it to point out how fake and ridiculous the rap game had become. And most importantly, he was doing it to point out the negative effects that it was having on the generation coming up. And he was doing it in a very disrespectful way. And he wasn't hiding from shit. And he wasn't walking anything back. He was full on calling out these gangsters to do something.
How long King Von been dead, nigga? Look, Timmy Tim been doing interviews and everything. King Von is dead and that bitch ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, and he can't see his kids no more, and his kids can't see him no more. Guess what? My baby's seeing me this weekend. We popping fireworks this weekend, and King Von want her now motherfucking firework pop. Pop, 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 pop. King Von can't hear none of that. And guess what? And guess what? And guess what? Guess what? And guess what? Guess what, nigga? 600 Breezy caught that pussy in front of me too, nigga. I still ain't been touched.
You ain't doing all this King Von shit. He would have knocked your left out.
Oh, no, he wasn't there when he told me. He told me the same thing you told me. You gonna stop talking about King Von. I said, no, I ain't. I said, no, I ain't. I said, this a hoe. This a bitch ass shit. You must not be from Chicago. This can't be no Chicago nigga.
Can't be no Chicago.
This got to be a Montana or Utah nigga. You from Chicago?
He doing too much goddamn.
What part of Chicago you from? 290. What they know you by? What they know you by in Chicago? What do Chicago people know you by? Oh, you a nobody ass nigga. T. What you known for in Chicago, nigga? Making phone calls? Oh, you ain't no violent nigga. You a get money nigga. One of them hoe ass niggas.
Is there any rappers that you do like in this era?
When I listen to Lil Baby, I don't hear a bunch of niggas dying. I hear a young nigga that done soaked up some game somewhere and dropping and chopping game down on them records with them beats on it, and goddamn me getting to the motherfucking money, man. Rest of them niggas, They want to be Texas Chainsaw Massacres and Freddy Krueger's and Jason's all Friday the 13th. Scare every goddamn body.
Do you see how easily he can switch his stance? Either you're a hoe for not being violent and getting money, or you're the only one he respects. This approach convolutes the message and can possibly push someone to do something stupid.
Your mom and dad is still married?
No.
Yeah, this bitch ass nigga answered the question. He wasn't man, get this whole ass. Get your bitch ass off the phone. Yeah, that nigga said no. Man, get your whole ass up out of here. That nigga answered.
Either way, he made a bunch of gangsters look like a bunch of McLovins, and at his peak, it was extremely entertaining, as well as educational. He ushered in the era of the internet gangster, and then exposed a few for being frauds. Like that one time, he pepper sprayed the shit out of Soulja Boy. Not as if we actually thought Big Draco was really about that life, but it was still funny as fuck watching him be put in his place. The guy has pulled more cards than David Blaine. I mean, you would think that someone would have done something by now, but no. The guy has yet to be touched. So I guess in that aspect, he has made his point. But that doesn't negate the fact that he has overshadowed his valid criticism with his unnecessary antics.
I'm a man that strongly believe that some women need their whooping they too. So I'll advocate too for some people. Some bitches need a good whooping.
Looks like King Von is not the only demon who has misled the youth. By Charleston White's logic, he ought to be expecting a visit from Lil Tim in the near future.
And does he believe all these things? I don't know. I don't think he really holds hate in his heart for Asian people and Jews. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he does believe that women deserve to be, assaulted. I don't know. But the point is, I don't care about all that stuff. If Charleston White holds those views, whatever, fine. Go be a weirdo on the internet, in the corner of the internet somewhere. I don't really care. But when you're one of the main voices for speaking out against the negative things that are going on in rap culture, then I have a problem, because now you make it look foolish to speak about the things you're speaking about because you're a hypocrite yourself. All of these things he's done online, all of the horrible things that he said, all of his antics outside of the stuff where he's trolling rappers takes away from his entire message. Everything that he wanted to accomplish when he first started is diminished now, because when people think of Charleston White, they do think of him talking about rappers, but they only think of him trolling and disrespecting the rappers, and then him trolling and disrespecting everyone else and saying all these crazy things. They don't go past the trolling and actually listen to what he's saying and go, yeah, he's right. That's been lost. His audience is still there, and his audience still actually listens to what he's saying in terms of who's being a hypocrite, what rapper's a fake gangster, what, about the culture is bad. There's still a real audience there that truly listens to Charleston White. But his overall impact on the culture and on the youth is now gone, because people don't see him as somebody who is a crusader of truth and is a crusader of, the youth and trying to save the culture and trying to better things. They see him as, oh yeah, that's the crazy old guy who says, crazy things sometimes. And he really doesn't like rappers for some reason. They don't look into why he doesn't like rappers. They don't look into what the point of him saying F Nipsey Hussle is. They don't look into the point of him saying F King Von or we're smoking on King. They don't look into those points anymore because he says all these crazy things. He says these crazy things about women and all this stuff. He's just a guy that gets online and says crazy things. Specifically about rappers, we don't really know why. That's his impact now. Now, I'm not expecting Charleston White to get online and be Malcolm X, but when you start with a goal, when you start with something that you really wanted to do in terms of showing the youth that rap isn't all it's cracked up to be, the street culture isn't all it's cracked up to be, when you lose the plot of that and it's all your fault, that's when I start to dislike you.
Charleston White has lost his way, but that's not to say that his movement did not have an impact. It's clear that he is a complex character with many different aspects and dimensions to his personality. From being arrested at age 14 for murder, to going to law school and starting an outreach program to help the youth, we can conclude that Charleston White gives it his all when he commits to something. But after all, he's only human, and misinformed people. When he knows the way, he is able to forge out a clear path for us to see. But to the contrary, when he doesn't know the way, it is quite literally the blind leading the blind. And much like the rest of the universe, humans go through phases, and everyone should be given some grace to grow and make mistakes. I do, however, hope that Charleston White can one day find his way back to the days of hype. The Bowtie Charleston had a lot of very interesting observations about the world, and I believe he has a unique voice to carry such a message. Thanks for watching. This has been Alan for now.